Hey guys, I'm back. In today's video, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. With the current situation, no one can really go out too far to venture to any local card shows, card shops, flea markets. So I thought what I would do is go back and show off some cards that I don't think I've shown on my channel yet, of some of my favorite cards that I've found at flea markets that maybe haven't featured in any of my videos. So I've got a top 10 list with a couple honorable mentions. I won't spend too much time talking about my honorable mentions. Now, these aren't going to be the most expensive cards ever. They're not going to be $50 cards, probably even $10 cards, but they're just cards that I enjoyed finding because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes the best part of going to flea markets is just turning over that card that you've really been looking for, or a card that you really enjoy, or a card that you didn't think you would find. And so a couple cards that I found, obviously these are rookies of Luis Castillo, who I think is a very, very underrated pitcher, especially pitching in the National League. He kind of gets overshadowed by Kershaw and some of those other studs, DeGrom, Syndergaard. And here's a Marcus Stroman rookie card, 50 cents for his 2014 Topps Chrome rookie. Those are my honorable mention picks. So I'll set them off way up here, I guess, at the top of the screen by the scoreboard. And they will be my honorable mention picks. In my number 10 spot, my number 10 card that I haven't featured yet is this, Christian Yelich. This is obviously when he was still with Miami. I don't know about you guys, but I still just love that Top Stadium Club photography. Even going all the way back to when it first came about in the 90s. I always loved it back then. I still love it now. That's just a good picture, a good image, a good photography. Number 10 spot, Christian Yelich with the Miami Marlins. In the number 9 spot, kind of with my honorable mention, I've talked on my channel a lot about how much I like Matt Chapman as a player. I love his defense. I love his offense. Man, he's got some really good stats, really good WAR numbers so far. I think he could be kind of an under-the-radar candidate for a lot of Gold Gloves and then maybe even a Hall of Fame career if he can keep it going. So there you go, Matt Chapman, my number 9 pick. This is from Topps Update from 2017, I believe. Yep, 2017 Topps Update. And so I've got like 3 or 4 of this card, and you can see it was only marked for a quarter, and I snatched them all up as quickly as I could at the time I went into the flea market. Here's my number 8 pick, the Cobra. Some of you old-timers, you know how good Dave Parker was. Oh my goodness, he had a cannon in right field, didn't he? Now, I wasn't quite old enough to watch him play a lot, but they just had a documentary on him, The Cobra Strikes at Midnight, or I think is what it's called, on MLB Network. If you ever have a chance to check it out, it's ever being replayed, I'd highly recommend it. I didn't know a lot about Dave Parker. He was a little bit before my time, but those of you guys who were around in the late 70s, early 80s, and got to see how good he was with the We Are Family, Pittsburgh Pirates, Dave Parker. Picked this up at a different flea market. You can see it's marked with a different number up here. That's the vendor number, 672. This is for $1. And I don't have a lot of cards from this era. I think that's 1975. And so I grabbed that one, and that has quickly become one of my favorite cards, especially after watching that documentary. Okay, number 7 in my list. This is a mini. You can see how this card doesn't even fill up the top loader. This is a Francisco Lindor. Looks like 2015 Bowman Chrome. Whenever he was still in the minor leagues, if you flip it over the back, the kind of feature here is the farm's finest. These are all players in the Cleveland Indians farm system at the time. Frankie Lindor was the number 1 prospect. Some people forget, like when he came up, he was supposed to be a good defender, but he couldn't really, or at least he didn't have the pedigree of being a big offensive player. But man, since he has been in the major leagues, he has been both a defensive and an offensive powerhouse for Cleveland. And it's going to be a shame if they can't re-sign him and keep him with their organization. But you can see who else they had in their organization at the time. Clint Frazier, who's now at the Yankees organization. Bradley Zimmer, who is still with Cleveland. Naquin, also still with Cleveland. James Ramsey, I don't know if he's even still in professional baseball. I don't think he's ever really done much. So there you go. Topps Mini, or not, Bowman Chrome Mini 2015 of Francisco Lindor. All right, in my number 6 pick, you can see all these have this 0691 vendor. These are all from the same flea market. This person has a lot of these Bowman or Topps high-tech cards from 2018. Here's Rafael Devers for 50 cents, a Rafael Devers rookie. This is, I don't know what the name of this variation is. You can see it's kind of got the bubbles and the waves in the background. These cards you can kind of see through. I'd never seen this card before, or this even Bowman High Tech or Topps High Tech. I had never seen this product before except at this flea market, so I grabbed it. I was not really in collecting much back in 2018 when this card probably first came out. So there you go. Rafael Devers, 50 cents. That's my next card. Next on the countdown, same set. This time it's the blue, maybe blue wave parallel of Mookie Betts. You can see this is numbered down at the bottom out of 150, 105 out of 150. This one obviously had a little bit of a higher price tag, but man, I love these kind of cards that you can see through a little bit, especially when they put that color in them. I just think that really makes them pop. And Mookie Betts is looking to have an awesome year this year with the Dodgers. Hopefully he'll get a chance to show his skills out there to the LA Dodgers fans. So we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, guys. We're down to my top 4 picks, I think. Yep, my top 4 picks in the number 4 spot. The Frank Thomas rookie card. Now, this is not the one that's super valuable. If you can ever find one that doesn't have the name down here, that has the no name on it, you have just walked into an absolute gold mine. But to find the Frank Thomas rookie, I don't think I even have this card. My first year collecting, I don't know about you guys out there, my first year was 1987. And then this, I believe, is 1990. Yeah, 1990 tops. And so I did have some cards from this time frame, but I don't think I had this one. And to pick up this one for $1, it's not in the greatest shape, but it's not in the worst shape either. That was a good pickup for me. I don't think I've shown that on my channel yet. In the number 3 spot, this is kind of a sentimental card. This is the 1997 Topps Chrome Vladimir Guerrero, the father, obviously, of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Man, I don't know about anyone else who's about my age. You remember when he came up and just the hype about him, how hard he could throw the ball from right field, the fact that he didn't use batting gloves. You can see there's no batting gloves in this photo. And he just came up and lit the National League on fire as a rookie. And I believe this might be his first Topps Chrome card. It's probably not that valuable of a card, but the reason it's on the countdown, this is probably, I think, the first card I found when I started going to flea markets. I'd never been into a flea market in my life until last summer, and I thought that I would go. Kind of got inspired by watching Jab's family and some of those other people go to flea markets, so I found one in my area, and this was the very first card that I picked up at a flea market last summer, and for 50 cents, I thought it was a good deal for me for my first ever card, and that's why it is this high on my countdown. Vladimir Guerrero. Okay, we're down to the top 2. My number 2 card is this, a Buster Posey rookie, and this is just maybe my favorite because of the story that's behind it. This card was at the same flea market where all of these other cards that have the 0691 kind of sticker on it, except this was from a different vendor. I was actually in line with a whole stack of cards from this 0691 vendor, and I found, just at standing in line waiting for someone else to check out, that there was another just random box of cards, and it said 25 cents. Go through as many as you want, just 25 cents a piece. And so I had him get it out from under the case, and lo and behold, there was a Buster Posey rookie card in there for $0.25. All the cards were for $0.25. I picked up some other ones, but this was probably the most valuable one. And I know Posey's kind of tapered off the last couple years, but as a former MVP, World Series champion, for $0.25, this was a card I didn't have because I had really stopped collecting during this time frame. It was just kind of a cool story to find this just happening to be at the front case while I was waiting to check out. So there's my number 2 card, Buster Posey. And the number 1 card that I have not shown on my channel yet from flea markets, it's actually a 2-for-1, 1A and 1B. 2 Michael Jordan cards, and I know I haven't really shown a lot of basketball on this channel, but the Johnny Kilroy, does anyone else remember those commercials? Whenever Jordan had walked away from basketball to be a minor league player for the Chicago White Sox, they made these Nike commercials featuring this player named Johnny Kilroy, who just came out of nowhere and was an absolute beast. And so then Upper Deck, I believe this is 1993-94, Upper Deck Basketball made this card to kind of commemorate that Nike commercial. And so I found this for $1, and I thought, you know what, that's just kind of a nostalgic purchase, as well as this. I'm kind of going back again with this, back in time. I know there's a lot of people about my age who watch my channel, and I'm assuming a lot of people out there also got the Sports Illustrated for Kids magazine, or maybe you had it at your school, and they always had inside the Sports Illustrated for Kids magazine a tear-out page of 9 cards like this, of just various athletes from all walks of life, of all different sports. And this card for $1 is probably worth more than $1, probably worth $5 or so. But it just took me back to whenever I used to get those Sports Illustrated for Kids magazines. I don't even know if I have any cards left from them that I tore out, but I'd always tear them out, be excited to see who I could pull. So there you have it, guys. Those are the top 10 cards, or my favorite 10 cards that I pulled from flea markets that I haven't shown on my channel yet. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't itching to get back out there and start looking at flea markets again, but obviously with the way things are going right now, that's not really possible. So maybe that helped you guys pass the time and relive a little nostalgia while we're waiting for the coronavirus to slow down a little bit. And I'll catch you guys in another video. Thanks for watching.